we're going to do the full spiel, like what is the table, why we are here, all of this, and yeah. So after the table, around this time last year, when it was June, first week in June, but around now we had been having the conversations about wanting a community. So how did this happen? So Tony introduced us. One day I already put up that tweet. I was like, you should start this. Like you can definitely do this. I want to understand. She was like, yeah. But like sometimes I'm like, no. And then I gave her all this hype that you can do it. And then I was like, no, let's do it together. It was such a random thing. Like we didn't think it was going to be that. I thought it was going to be like 4 people. Just be like in a random ass group chat and just thing. And it became a huge thing. We now built a website. Chukwudi's in here today. He helped us do the lovely logo and everything. And then and a bunch of people joined, which is you guys. And so thank you guys for joining. And that was how the table started. And so it really started as a place where people can have a safe place to have conversations about spirituality that they otherwise couldn't have, and obviously can't have within conventional religious spaces, because those spaces then cater to your spirituality. And we hope that this space gives you space for playful curiosity, space for exploring your spirituality and not feeling shamed. Not feeling shamed about your views, and a place where you can we can debate. Like even I love the fact that when we started, for people who weren't here, our first thing was cancelable takes, right? And so the fact that you can say things that would otherwise be controversial in religion, and people are willing to listen to you, and people are willing to also add in their opinion.
When I wanted to join the table community, I was in need of a group that understood me and everything I was struggling with when it came to my faith. I sort of was looking for a family, I would say. I found that, and I've come to a place where I feel like I understand where I'm supposed to be spiritually, and as some would say, I've had a spiritual awakening. When you meet people who see you and who truly see you, it's a feeling I can't explain. It's, I'd say, almost euphoric. This vlog is about the day we all came together to dine on a table as a community.
My awakening began NYC. When I really understood grace and eternal salvation and all of that. So imagine leaving home, say, then coming back a raving heretic. And at that point when you get that thing, you cannot keep quiet. Like you cannot rest. You're just yapping. I was just anywhere that just open to hear anything about God, they are hearing it. So my dad is a pastor, my mom is a pastor, so deeper life, so that
healing, let's
after that, so a normal irregular Pentecostal church. I remember the first time I talked about it during morning devotion. I still remember when my father said it, he couldn't wait to interrupt me. And then he just went on. How after when you finish speaking, they have to reset the room.
Yeah.
So when I finish speaking, I have to reset the room and say that there are consequences to actions. You cannot just say that you do this and then nothing will happen.
My question is, do you find it easy to forgive? What is an experience that lets you know?
I like that question.
Short answer, no. And longer answer is that I think the definition of forgiving has changed for me since I let go of what I should be as a Christian, or who I should be as a Christian. Because I no longer identify as a Christian. I'll say I'm agnostic if I had to pick something. But honestly, I don't really want to pick something. But what let me know, a rather recent experience where a friend and I fell out 2 years ago, and it's a friend I've had for years, we went to school together 13, 14 years as my guy. And then it was a long story, but the way she spoke with me, I didn't really appreciate it, and she wasn't very willing to see what she had done wrong and everything. And I think I had realized that normally Christianity, I have to let go, I have to forgive this person for myself, all this bullshit, I'm angry. And I think forgiveness changed to a thing of, I feel like there's been injustice done to me, and that's fair enough. It's not for me to carry the anger around and be like, oh, I hate this person, I want to kill them. Eventually I've let it go, I've freed it, but I know that I still feel like there was an injustice. I'm allowed to feel that way. I think for a long time Christianity made me feel like, oh, I have to be the bigger person, I have to be a good person, and give them to God and justice, kiniko will be God's or whatever. What's the thinking? Vengeance will be the Lord's, Abby?
Vengeance.
I don't really want vengeance, but I'm just like, I'm allowed to have experienced anger and hurt and injustice and everything, and that's okay. So I think it's not an easy thing for me to do. And I also think it's a bit, what's the word? I think it can be a bit dangerous to tell people that they should forgive like that, because it doesn't really allow us to process what has happened. And sometimes these people in very dangerous situations, abusive situations, because you're meant to be forgiving. Sometimes no, it's a bad situation, you are hurt, you've been wrong, you're allowed to be angry. I also you're allowed to not forgive because it's a burden you're carrying on yourself, but I think the definition.
How do you deal with the loneliness that comes with being misunderstood? Okay, so I don't know. I'll say first off, I think it's dealing with the idea that you're lonely in the first place. Because if you feel lonely, that might just be an opportunity for you to build and grow. That's you just feeling secluded, and might be an opportunity for you to build and grow. Moreover, I don't think one should focus on the fact that people misunderstand that person. Because I mean, if someone can take the time out to misunderstand you, they are not you, they don't really know you then. But if you're so concerned about, the person misunderstanding you, you being lonely can still be a place where you can integrate, yourself and build well enough for people to start seeing you for, who you really are, and people to understand you more. So I don't know, I'd say it's just really dealing with the mindset of you thinking you're lonely, because it might just be a place where you have the opportunity to build and grow, really. That's what I think, really. So yeah.
I don't identify as irreligious, but I don't also identify as a practicing Christian, but my set of beliefs are very aligned with Christianity, and that's the Christianity that I grew up with. In our in our breakout session, I was discussing with the Zoom breakout session. I was discussing with my group members that I haven't had the traditional Nigerian Christian experience. It's traditional in some sense, but not really typical, because I didn't really grow up in a church that has burned me personally, right? Like, churches burn people, but that has not been my experience. I grew up in a church where, like, there was always a lot of talk around, like, people, I don't know how to explain. It didn't feel as traditional as what we know churches to be. I still draw a lot, not all, but a lot of my sense of morality and ethics from the Bible, how I understand the Bible. But I think something that transformed, my church preaches it, but I think the Nigerian church space, ministers are very afraid to emphasize the gospel of grace. Like for me, when I was at, I think 300 level, 200 level, 300 level, exposure to Joseph Prince really was transformation. Like that Joseph Prince, like he was one that let me know, like, run as far as you want to run, hide if you want to, but if you believe, you are still under the shadow, you are still like with God.
I trained to, like, without thinking, once they ask you what is love, you just say God is love. Like, you don't even think about it. It's just like copy and paste, God is love. Oh yeah, come and explain what you mean by God is love. You cannot explain. But right now, where I am, what love means to me is safety. I did not get a lot of safety growing up. The people that were meant to love me and guide me and keep me safe did not. So I think right now for me, love is safety. Anything, anybody, any place that makes me feel safe is love. If I don't feel safe there, I don't feel loved.
Most times I really don't have a problem with God. I don't really see that, oh, it's God that you get. I feel like it's the people. Most of them, they preach love, but they don't really understand what it's all about. You get, so people just do things from who they are, not because of God. Do you get? So I don't normally say, oh, the root cause is God. So I really don't have a problem with God.
I think something that resonates with me, and I mean it has resonated with me for a while, is
the idea of like wandering and being a wanderer. Like the idea that I don't have to choose one particular ideology and stay with it forever. I don't like that idea. I don't like that, you have to, and that's the thing with religion. So if you come in, they expect that, you drop every other thing for it, and I don't like that. I want to be able to just wonder, I like this ideology today, okay, that's great. But now you don't serve me tomorrow, I'm dropping you immediately. It's not that deep for me. I'm not attached to it per se. It's just what serves me at the moment, and I think that is something that I've started to adopt to my life.
I feel spirituality to me is like I don't want to say it's like a journey, but it's like an activity. Spirituality in itself, it's like trying to connect with everything around you, like everyone, everything. For me, spirituality deals a lot with the universe. I would say, I feel like a lot of us here will say that religion and spirituality are different, but I feel religion is, the goal of religion is spirituality. I actually mentioned this when we were at the goal of religion is spirituality. That's what religion is trying to do essentially, is to bring us to this sort of artificial togetherness, artificial in the sense that it's organized. But spirituality doesn't need religion. You can be an individual and you can have your own spirituality. People that think the universe is a simulation, that's their spirituality. Literally like that. For me, I believe love is the creator for me. Like, we might all believe in different creators, but at the same time we're all here in the same universe, we're all from the same creator. We can't agree on what that is, but no matter what we think, it's the same one. That's why we're all here together. And that's what spirituality is. How do we bring ourselves back together?
Has your shift from conventional religion affected your mental health?
Oh, God. I thought they crazy.
Conventional religion affected your mental health? Or you try you. I think overall it's been great for my mental health.
Oh wow, lucky you.
I think that for me, and I said this in the small group where we were in, I think that before now, I've been in tension a lot. And it's a tension that I never, so I'm a first principles guy, right? So when I get something at the core, it sort of aligns with me. And growing up, a lot of things never quite fit. And so I remember being that, for instance, when I was younger, I would go for come and pray in tongue, and look at it trying to push me down. I'm like, boss, what did I do? It's like, before now on Sunday, there's that compulsion to want to do something. And now, if I wake up on Sunday morning and I'm just in a hangover, I'm like, cheers, guys. Or if I wake up and if something happening in church and I don't feel that pull to want to be there. Sometimes it's just being there because I feel I need to be here, not because I actually want to be here. And so letting go of that and just being myself is a little liberating.
Into like Christianity, the Christian movement, like my friends were like the Christian influencers type thing, and so it's like when you leave those people, it's like apart from like you leaving the community, there's also the internalized, not even like shame, but the fact that like you feel so misunderstood by them, right? And it's like just the pain from that, like the pain of being misunderstood by them, the pain of them never taking, because it was like one thing I realized, like most of my friends weren't actually my friends. We just all had the same beliefs, so we just all thought we were friends. So it was like a mutual, like you were only my friend because we believed the same thing. And as soon as we didn't, like the rest of my humanity was disregarded, right? Like, did you see the other part of me that wasn't like the Christian influencer person, or were you just attracted to me because of those things, right? So that, and just the fact that, yeah, navigating the loneliness in the country. I think someone else will get that question. I can't wait for the person that gets it. But like, even with you were saying how you're like married to someone with teleportation and whatnot.
But then even in my marriage, and I just want to talk about the idea of loneliness. So loneliness is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Was your family religious? Would you rather it was otherwise?
Wow.
Very accurate for you.
My parents happen to be evangelists, like deeply into the, like they actually organize outreaches and stuff. Do I wish it was otherwise? I have a lot of problems with organized religion and the church as a whole, but I do think that, I mean, it's already my journey. I don't know that it will be different or I can change it. I can't change anything about it, right? So I think I'm just at peace with that. Do I wish it was otherwise? I do, in some aspects, yes, but in many regards, not quite. I'm actually one of those kids who actually enjoyed church.
All the flowers in my garden never looked as bright as this. Like a happy child, I watched them grow out of only seeds. Butterflies down my stomach when I think of you and me. It is funny how a lot can change when you learn how to breathe. Look at my eyes, what do you